Good morning. This is Kathleen Cloud at Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, August 11th, 2025. The fire potential impacts across the next few days include abnormally hot and dry conditions and some storm potential on Wednesday. As high pressure continues to build over the basin, we expect hot and dry conditions today with high temperatures in the high 90s approaching triple digits across much of Nevada, including the Sierra Front and western central Idaho. This area of hot and dry conditions expands further east to cover almost all of Nevada and the western half of Idaho, where we expect to see temperatures about 7 degrees above normal for this time of year through Wednesday. On Wednesday, there is an additional risk for some mixed but mostly dry thunderstorms across central Nevada northeast to the Nevada Idaho Utah border and the Arizona Strip, bringing a chance for lightning with an additional risk for wind gusts greater than 30 miles per hour across central, eastern Idaho, and western Wyoming. Radar estimates from the past 24 hours show no precipitation across the Great Basin, and the satellite loop from yesterday afternoon into the evening shows little to no cloud cover across the basin and some smoke from the Beulah fire in northeastern Utah, which was fairly active late yesterday. In the past 24 hours, the Great Basin had 8 new starts for a total of 11.5 acres and a large fire growth of 1,005 acres. The past 3 days show the highest precipitation amounts across portions of northern central Idaho. These areas received at least a hundredth of an inch to a half inch, with sparse pockets of up to 1 inch. The rest of the basin remained completely dry. In the last 30 days, the Great Basin has received well below normal precipitation, except northwestern Nevada and sparse pockets in western and northern central Idaho, which have seen above normal precipitation. All of the recovery we saw last week across the Sierra Front and western Idaho has diminished, and ERC values remain on the rise in these areas between the 70th and 90th percentile, with a few more point values in the 98th to 97th percentile across the Sierra Front. ERC values across the rest of the basin remain extremely high, above 97%, with more purple points emerging every day. Satellite from this morning shows clear skies over Nevada and the Arizona Strip and some lingering cloud cover across central Idaho and northern Utah. No smoke impacts across Idaho. Light impacts expected across Nevada today. Heavier smoke impacts from the ongoing Southern California wildfires across the southern tip of Nevada and the Arizona Strip. And central Utah will see some smoke impacts from the Beulah and Monroe Canyon fires today. Similar impacts are expected across the basin tomorrow, with central Utah expected to have a larger smoke impact from the Beulah fire, Monroe Canyon fire, and some smoke coming in from that large fire burning in Colorado. Today, most of the Sierra Front moves to that moderate risk category, and the Great Basin remains overall at that moderate risk, except northern central Idaho, which will remain at low or little to no risk due to higher RH values in previous preset. But just another warm, dry day today. No precipitation is expected within the basin today, and max temperatures will be higher than yesterday, with triple digit heat from the Sierra Front south to the Vegas and Arizona strips. We expect temperatures in the high 80s to mid 90s across the rest of the basin, which is about 7 degrees above normal for this time of year. No wind concern today. Maybe some breezier conditions in the 20 to 25 mile per hour range across central Utah. Minimum relative humidities will still remain critical in the single digits to mid teens, especially across those breezier areas in central Utah, and in the teens to low 20s, where we've been having our rain in the northern half of the basin. On Tuesday, again, no high risk triggers, and the southern Sierra Front joins the rest of the basin at moderate risk, and northern central Idaho will move to low risk following this kind of warming and drying trend. Not really a wind concern on Tuesday overall, just light variable winds and very hot and dry. Will be completely dry again Tuesday with really no chance for precipitation. Max temperatures will be even hotter than today, with triple digit temps from the Sierra Front and east across much of Nevada and the Arizona Strip, as well as in western Idaho. You can see that 101 value up there. 111 in Vegas, 100 on the Utah Arizona border. So, overall, just a lot of triple digit points across the basin, with mid to high 90s for the rest of the basin. No wind concern really on Tuesday, maybe some breezy 15 to 25 mile per hour winds across central Idaho and western Wyoming. RH values are lower than Monday and still remain critical in the single to low double digits, especially down south where we've got high temperatures over 105. We're going to see 6 to 8% humidity, so just another hot and dry day. On Wednesday, we've issued a high risk for winds above 30 miles per hour across eastern central Idaho and western Wyoming. The majority of the basin will remain at moderate risk due to the continued dry and breezy conditions, with the potential for some mixed but mostly dry storms across central Nevada and the Arizona Strip. So you can kind of see those peeking through in those black areas between that dry air for Wednesday. Still a concern on Wednesday for those above average temperatures, mid to high 90s across the Great Basin, and triple digits in northern Utah, western Nevada, the Las Vegas and Arizona strips, and the Utah Arizona border. So, still overall very hot. There's also an additional chance for some mostly dry thunderstorms across central Nevada, the Arizona strip, and parts of central Idaho. And you can see those, light areas of precip where we expect less than a tenth of an inch, maybe sparse pockets of up to 2 tenths. So, overall, very dry storm potential here across those gray areas. We also expect some heavier winds in those mostly dry thunderstorm outflows, and you can see those outflows in the pink and intermixed with all the green. We'll see those across central Nevada, the Nevada Utah Idaho border, and parts of the Arizona Strip. We additionally anticipate a risk for high winds across eastern central Idaho and western Wyoming up in the pink there. Where you can see we'll expect wind gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. So that's our bigger wind risk area up there. Over the next 3 days, Great Basin will remain almost completely dry, except for a few pockets in central Nevada from Wednesday's dry storm potential, where there's a chance for maybe up to a tenth of an inch, but again, very, very light. On Thursday, conditions continue to remain dry across the basin, and we'll continue to see some higher winds across central Idaho and western Wyoming, and maybe again that potential for some isolated storms as well in the black and green there. On Friday, following this warming and drying pattern, a few more zones in northern central Idaho will move to that moderate risk category. And there's still the chance for some higher winds across central Idaho and western Wyoming. And we're also tracking the potential for some precipitation across Utah, seen in the green and black. You can kind of see this low pressure system up in the left hand corner starting to come down and bringing some storm potential. On Saturday, again, we've got no high risk triggers, and most of the basin will remain at that moderate risk, except for northern central Idaho, which is still in that low risk category. And again, there's a chance for some higher winds in the northern half of the basin, as well as a chance for some kind of mixed wet and dry storms as that low pressure system inches a little bit closer to the basin. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. On Sunday, we expect similar conditions, and the majority of the basin remains in that moderate risk category due to those continued dry and breezy conditions. You can see maybe less of a storm potential, maybe more to the north, northern Nevada, northern Utah, and just that very dry pocket of air over the Arizona Strip on Sunday. The next 7 days of precipitation show the chance for some spotty, very light, maybe 100th of an inch up to a tenth precipitation in a few small areas from the Arizona Strip north through central Utah and into western Wyoming, but we're not expecting any significant moisture in the next 7 days, and the rest of the basin will remain completely dry. So we'll just be keeping an eye out for that storm potential days 4 through 7. The next 8 to 14 days show above normal temperatures across most of the basin, with a higher chance for above normal temperatures across Utah. And then precipitation wise, most of the basin is remaining at that below normal precip, and then near normal across much of Utah and the southern tip of Nevada. That concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.